So
I'm surprised you didn't.
Yeah.
Once it kills a monkey, shouldn't you just put...
You would think.
Put the rat monkey down.
You would think. Or separate it completely. You know?
But given what happens to the people who get bitten here, why didn't that monkey that initially died turn?
Because it wasn't bitten.
It was bit.
It was punched, and its arm was ripped off.
Oh, and then once...
But that was it. Like, it didn't
the arm, then... Maybe the arm...
If the monkey didn't eat it.
Yeah, fair enough.
The rat monkey, I think, ate the arm.
Well, he was eating it, and then I think he pulled it away. The zoologist pulled it away. Pulled something away. I don't know if it was the actual rest of the monkey, or...
I mean... Yeah, this is one of those movies where the body parts still move, so...
Either way.
Yeah, I don't know.
So... Vera's basically like, take me home, Lionel, because she's bitten. Mm-hmm. So Lionel's got to be like, well, sorry, Paquita, Mom's calling, so date over.
Yep.
So she comes by his house at night.
She's still interested.
They break up, and then they kiss. And this is not the only time in the movie where it's just like, it's over, and then 2 seconds later, he's like, Paquita!
Well, I understand his plight. He's clearly into her.
Yeah.
But, Mummy...
You know? Vera.
So he's got to do that. And the second time, we'll get to later, but he has a very good reason for wanting to dump her, but he really doesn't want to.
Yeah. So, we get a triple scene of Vera being very sick from the bite, Lionel and Paquita having sex, and Paquita's grandmother going through the worst tarot cards ever. Gloom, doom, and death.
Yeah.
Is going to follow this couple for the next little while. And it's like this thunderstorm, and she's like, no! And she's like pulling card after card after card.
And it's always
Stop pulling, Grandma!
Yeah, like
Stop
Grandma,
pulling cards!
At some point, you gotta let it go, lady. Like, it's not going anywhere.
You're not gonna get any good cards here, so just... It's like a poker game.
My guess is...
Fold, Grandma, fold!
Maybe try some Santeria, something different.
So Lionel's mom gets up the next day, and she is not looking good. I think her face is a bit...
Her face falls down, and then it splits.
Yep, and he glues her
face back together. I love this movie.
Because she has to get ready for Nora and Al Matheson coming over for lunch. And she sits down, and she's completely made up as best as Lionel could. And clearly her face has seen better days.
The fuck off.
And she's just like... she's like slurring her words, and they're just like... And Al's just
enjoying the food.
He's just eating, and it's great, but Nora's just like...
Nora's getting sick.
Okay, Vera?
And he's just like, oh, she's fine. Would you like some more beans? And of course, you know, he's all down. He's like, oh, throw some more over here, son.
Yeah.
And he, you know, then they're eating, and then he's like, all right, I think it might be fucking time to go, because Mom's falling the fuck apart.
Pudding!
And
they did eat their meat, so...
They did, exactly. I'm flashing back to the wall. How can you have any pudding if you don't eat your meat? But he did, so he can have his pudding.
So, sorry, no pudding, but we have custard. And he's like, I haven't had good custard in years.
Yep. And he fucking starts mowing down, and it's already gross.
Yeah, without body parts
and then it gets worse, because one of her wrapped bandages...
like Spider-Man!
Spider-Man's some goop... some body goop into his...
Just shoots a web of goop into his custard.
Nora
Nora sees it, Al
and
doesn't.
She's out.
Al mixes it in, eats it up, and she's just at this point...
I haven't had a good custard in forever. I like it. It's very creamy.
Yeah, and then she's just like... And then she's off. She's out. She's gone. She taps out.
And he's like, well, nothing I can do about that. And, oh no, she pieces out because the fucking ear...
Vera's ear falls
into the custard, and she eats it. Yeah. But of course, she spits up her pearl earring, which is hilarious. Which is such a great shot. And then, she's out. She's fuck this. Norma's out, and he just I guess she's feeling under the weather. We should probably get heading out. But great lunch, boy. Great lunch.
Yeah. So Vera comes by with her dog Fernando. Dog runs in. We hear a scuffle. Vera's on the floor, bloodied up, thinking the dog attacked her, maybe. And then she opens her mouth.
Yeah.
And there's Fernando. Or parts of him. The rest of him is on the bed.
Fernando.
Yeah.
Had to be done.
Yeah, and then, your mother ate my dog!
Well, most of it.
most of it. Like, that's it, Lionel. Always look on the bright side of life, buddy.
No, not all of it.
So Vera then dies, because the nurse called the nurse.
Yeah, and then Vera dies, and
like
the nurse
one
is
of
there.
those...
Yeah, she out. whilst Paquita is gathering her things.
Yep.
Because by this point, Vera's also called her a whore several times.
Yep.
So she's just like, well, fuck this bitch. And she seems very happy that Vera's going away, which I like that. I like that little tinge. And then she's like asking like questions like which toothbrush is hers and stuff like that. And Lionel's trying to answer these questions.
Well, at this point, his mother's come back to life.
Vera has come back to life and
eaten the nurse.
Well, sort of.
Oh.
She ripped her head off.
Yeah.
Because that comes into play. That comes into play. She rips most of her head off. It's still hanging there. In a fantastic shot where her fingers go into her face.
Yep.
That is so unnecessary, but amazing.
I don't know how they did half of this stuff.
I have no idea, but Jesus Christ, is it great. And then, so her neck is hanging, and only the spine is there.
Yeah.
And then she starts attacking Lionel, and that's when she's, Paquita's asking, like, which toothbrush or whatever, and he answers.
Yeah, he pulls her hands off his neck long enough to go,
green one.
Yeah. Because it's a comedy.
Yeah.
So he sends her away. He locks up the nurse and Vera into their basement. Mm-hmm. And then he visits the pet.
Yeah.
The vet.
The vet, because he's got to find out what the fuck's up, because it clearly came from the rat monkey.
Yeah.
So he's like, well, what do you know?
And the vet is just unnecessarily weird.
Yeah.
He's working on something. I don't know what he's working on. Is he working on the rat monkey?
He is.
Yeah.
And he looks like every mad scientist in every 50s science movie. Like horror movie. Like he's just like, oh, yes, well, it must have been... Like he's fucking strange as all hell for no reason.
And then he doesn't deal in drugs, but he does deal in sedatives.
Yep. So he gives him a metric fuck ton of money, because again, they're rich, so he can afford it, and he gives him a bunch of money for a comically large bottle of tranquilizers.
Yep.
That literally say tranquilizer.
Yep. Puts it in a needle,
mm-hmm.
sticks the nurse and Vera with it,
mm-hmm.
Sedates them. That's when he locks them up.
Yep.
And then he visits Paquita and her grandma going, a bit of a trouble?
Yep.
I think at this point, is this where his grandma gives him the pendant?
I believe so, yes.
Yeah, where it's like, take this with you. Trust me.
You're gonna need it. Yeah, so she knows, but she's already ready to marry her off, so it's cool.
At this point, Vera escapes,
mm-hmm.
and is hit by a train, goes flying into the air,
and lands in the window.
Lands through the window.
Yeah.
Most of the judges gave her a 5. Mm-hmm. Of course, the French judge gave her a 4.8, because you can't impress the French.
He's an asshole.
He's a bit of a dick.
Mm-hmm.
Lands square into the store. It's good.
Yep. The zebra throws the hands up.
And she's, quote-unquote, dead.
Mm-hmm. Because she's tranquilized.
Yeah. And she's all cut up and looking at her.
So you just assume
she's zombified at this point, so she's seen better days.
Yeah.
So we cut to the funeral, where Lionel's nowhere to be found. The priest is getting perturbed.
Mm-hmm.
We meet Uncle Les.
Yes.
The slimiest man in the world, Uncle Les.
Oh, yeah. So he's, like, going, like, where the fuck is Lionel? What's up? And all this stuff.
If he's not here in 10 minutes, she will be delivered into the arms of Jesus alone.
Yeah, so, like, the priest is fed up, and he's like, fuck this. But what we don't know is that Lionel is trying to make sure she stays sedated before her burial. Meanwhile, Uncle Les, in his first attempt to rape Paquita, as in a very, very brief meeting,
you.
That becomes his thing.
Yep.
And at first you're like, oh, he's just creepily hitting on her. No, he tries to rape her a couple times. That's just gross. You can't even blame that on the 50s.
Nope.
That's just gross.
We cut to the Undertaker.
Yeah.
With his assistant, played by Peter Jackson.
Haha. This is fucking weird, man. I mean, it sort of plays into part later on.
Well, the body blows up.
Yeah, because...
In just the ooze of green...
He's left the embalming fluid on in her and filling her up with fucking just embalming fluid. I'm like, okay, it's the day of the funeral. This is done. Why are we doing this now?
Yeah.
But, she's exploding.
And then... I think they fix it a bit. Put her in a casket that is... screwed shut?
Yeah, that was weird.
Because Lionel has to unscrew it to open the thing to sedate her again.
My guess is they screwed it because I think you do screw them shut when they're going to go in the ground.
Okay.
My guess is they screwed it shut so nobody would open the fucking thing and see what they fucked up. You know?
She attacks, breaks open the casket. attacks him. They go through the window. As soon as the priest says, resurrection! And then they come through, but the sedative goes in, so all they see is him caressing his mother's dead corpse.
Well, he was a mama's boy, it makes sense.
And that's what they're just like, I've heard of,
I've heard of people like you.
Yeah, of attachment, but this is ridiculous. I guess they finally get her into the ground.
They do.
After all of that, I'd be like, let's question why he took his mother out of the casket. Like, according to what they've seen.
I'm guessing with it, they're just like, he's a mama's boy and he's not dealing with it right. Let's get her in the ground and we'll deal with him later. Or we'll never deal with him again.
So he goes at night to the graveyard.
Because he's got to keep sedating her.
Because he's got to keep sedating her. So he's got to keep... So I'm like... So if this went according to plan, he would have to...
No, he would have taken the body.
Oh, fair.
He would have taken the body. Yeah, he would have taken
the body. Because I mean, like, he would have had to do this every night.
Yeah, no, he would have taken the body.
So a gang comes in and is weirdly virtuous about things.
Yeah.
Where he's like, what are you trying to do? Like, think he's going to steal the body to do something with her?
Yeah, that's what I assume, but I'm like, what are you there for then?
Yeah.
Like, I mean, I guess maybe they hang out like the teens in fucking Return of the Living Dead. They just like to hang out in graveyards.
They attack him. They piss on his mother's grave.
Because virtuous.
Yep. She reaches up, grabs him by the dick.
Like you do.
Pulls him down. And just fucking rips him to shreds.
She's pulling on him and it looks like he's fucking the grave. But all that's happening is blood is shooting out from underneath him. It's hilarious.
His whole front half has been ripped off. You can see rib cage. Cut to the priest going, what's going on out here?
And he sees what's up. Because they all have been turned very quickly because they're all killed. Because Vera fucking kills them. So they've all turned. Because, like, basically what happens is if you're killed immediately, you're a zombie now. So they start fucking coming, and the priest fucking says, oh, I see what's up here. And then he punches one of them and says the greatest line in film history, which is, I kick ass for the Lord. And he proceeds to ninja kick the shit out of them.
Yeah, he kung fu fights the zombies.
And pulling off their limbs and beating them with it. And it's a actually surprisingly well done kung fu scene. And it's awesome.
And then he is quickly killed.
Immediately, yes.
He is thrown onto something.
Yeah.
Turned
he's
into
impaled like a motherfucker.
But turned into a zombie because I think they bit him as well. So now Lionel has Void, the lead gang member who wasn't dismembered, so he's fully intact in a zombie. He has the nurse, he has the priest, and he has his mother Vera.
Yes.
And he proceeds to feed them.
Well, he's trying to get
There's a dinner scene.
He's having trouble.
Not a Texas Chainsaw.
No.
That's a good dinner scene.
No, but just as fucked up. He's trying to give them the tranquilizers, and I guess he doesn't have enough fucking syringes or something like that. So he's just put it into some pudding. He figures they'll eat it. So
I love that he tells Void, use a spoon.
Because he fucking sets it up like a real dinner party. He gives them all spoons, places the plates down.
Like, cut the zombie Void trying to work the spoon, puts it through his head.
Well, what's ended up happening is, like, none of them are using it, and then he's just like, oh, for God's sakes, use a spoon. And then he fucking jams it through the back of his head.
Yep.
Because what else is he going to do?
It's going through the nurse's neck, so he has to literally tip it back and just dump it in and just kind of stuff it down her throat, and like, oh my God.
And then all of a sudden, the priest and the nurse are eyeing each other.
Oh,
like,
and the priest is getting handsy too. He's grabbing leg.
And they're looking at each other
He's
like...
just like, hey, you two.
Yeah. None of that. And they're just looking at each other like, hey, what's up, baby?
And then Uncle Les gets a visit.
Yep. Because Uncle Les is a scumbag.
Yep.
So Uncle Les shows up, says, how you doing, buddy?
Sees the bodies.
He does. He doesn't see him yet.
Yep.
Does he?
Yep, because he's trying to blackmail him at this point.
I thought that was later.
Well, it might be later. Actually, you're right.
Later.
Yeah, he pushes him away. Like,
yeah, because he's just like... Because basically what he's saying is like, hey, I want... Because this is setting up the blackmail for later. Like, I'm looking... he's like, your mother, she was a lovely person, but she was terrible with paperwork, which is the usual fucking sign all these people say. It's like, I know she wanted me in her will, but she just didn't put me in it. And he's basically... Which is weird, because he's like, he wants the money and he wants the house.
He's greedy.
What about Lionel?
Nope.
Like, no, none of that shit. So he's like, I trust you'll do the right thing, boy. And he's like, yeah, the right thing is kicking you the fuck out, which is what he does.
Comes back in, and the priest and nurse are fucking.
Yep, because that's what you do.
And quickly, she is impregnated, and quickly, there's a zombie baby.
Now, to be fair, we don't know how long.
Yeah, time...
It does, time does jump, but I'm guessing it's not 9 months.
No.
So, yeah, she's pregnant.
Yep. zombie baby happens.
Yep.
Lionel and Paquita split